Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. This stream is going to be awesome because in this one we're going to style things. We're going to use Tailwind CSS to make our OOP budget app awesome. So I hope that you are enjoying your weekend and you're ready for the ride for today. And we're going to have a lot of questions and answers here as well. Sayyid, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I'm good, thank you for asking. Let's switch.
Wa alaikum assalam. I hope everyone is doing really good today. Awesome. How have you been? How's your weekend going, everyone? Should I move it to a bit here? Oops. Yeah, my cable has to be changed, or my camera, I don't really know. But how are you? How's everyone today? I think this is a good time to stream because I think a lot of people at this time are available. Wa alaikum assalam, Raja. How are you? How is you? I'm gonna bring quickly out my project so we can get started right away without any delays. Alrighty. Damn, I have so many Solid.js projects opened. Alright, so we got this. But one thing that I'm right now thinking is how would we really be implementing the Tailwind CSS in this project without having to have this sort of package manager in this case. So I'm not really sure. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. Doing great. How about you? I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Just had a breakfast and I am now gonna be here streaming for about 45 to 50 minutes, I think, and I will try to wrap up what we were building. I'm gonna adjust this a bit. Yes. So the plan is to make the project work and kind of serving it and implementing Tailwind it is. So in the meantime, I'm going to be taking questions from you, of course. That's going to be similar to how we do it every day. So let's close this guy. And now I need to find my chat window. Let's see if I can find it. Chat. Where you at? Docs chat. There we go. Found you. Okay. Alrighty. Let's bring this up here so I can see you. So, are there any cool projects that you folks have been working on lately? Is that supposed to be our budget app? No. Because we would have to start it, right? How do you run a server without running a server? HTTP server. Do this. And we got this on 8080. So this should be localhost 8080. And there we go. So that's the app that we have been working with so far. Okay, so how do we make this work with Tailwind CSS? So we're gonna be including Tailwind CSS, but the way we are going to do it is, so we can do two things. We can either add, I don't want to add too much things to a project, but we could add Webpack, and we could also add the post CSS in that case. But if I wanted to keep it very simple, I would just go ahead and, do they have a really simple for example, parcel? Okay, I could use parcel maybe. So make dir parcel, make dir, since I think we could use parcel for bundling this, because parcel doesn't require anything else. So I think we could use parcel, and then we can use all of this. So I think this should be good. I have one question. That is, some say you should start with freelancing and first, and some say you should go under a company. My son is trying to sneak into the room. So yes, good question. I think that you should rather go into a company first, because if you keep doing freelance, you're gonna be doing freelance, and you're probably not gonna be able to learn teamwork, learn how agile works. So you're not gonna get real industry experience if you just start doing freelance. Because when you're doing freelance, you're you're expected to be experienced, because you're probably going to be the only person working on the project, or you're going to be working with a team, but the team will not pay for your skills or for upskilling you. So they would hire you as a freelancer because they would know, okay, this person can do the job. So don't expect your clients to pay for your learning when you're doing freelance. That's not how it happens. Although if you're working in a company, then yeah, obviously there's sometimes you're working on projects, sometimes you're learning. So it's a completely different game when it comes to freelancing versus company. So I would always suggest people to join companies before doing freelance, if that makes sense. All right, so we are going to set up Parcel, which is a really easy tool to work with when it comes to static HTML and JS, because our project, if you have a look, there's really nothing much here. It's just this scripts, styles, index HTML, and that's pretty much it. And we use the HTTP server package to serve this, and there's no React, there's no Vue.js, there's no Angular in there. It's just basic simple HTML. And Parcel is essentially a bundler that we can use to generate a final optimized build, for example. And this can also work with the it can also work with serving it. Redeemed VIP 30,000. What this do? I don't recall now, but I think it's when you can ask me to show your project on screen. So if you have built something cool, then you can share it right now, and I think we could go ahead with that. And I should be looking at both my monitors, because yeah, I just see that you have redeemed now. So now that we have our project, let's actually implement this as well as we are talking. So we're going to go ahead and say npm init y. So this will initiate a package JSON, and it will be called budget app. You're actually right. So you're going to become a VIP, and I believe when you do that, there is a, now that I think about it, yes, you're right. So there is I believe there's a role that you get in Discord, and potentially you can also mod as well. Let's see actually. So I can think of these roles. I believe there is a VIP role as well, if I'm, no, there's not. No. But yeah, I think I've known you for quite long, so I can probably add you to it. Let's see. So we're setting, and that is if you want to be a mod. So let me know in the chat, and then we'll take it from there. So next step, we got npm init y. Now we're gonna run Parcel. So we're gonna go ahead and do npm install the Parcel. I think I'm gonna go with pnpm because I like it more than npm. So I'm gonna install pnpm install d parcel. Then okay, then we are moving everything inside source, so we can create a new folder. We can say src, and we are going to move styles, index and scripts all together in the source folder. Yes please. So now our whole code is inside the index.html. I mean, there are just 3 files. I don't really think I would be needing a script and index or css, or sorry, scripts or styles folders. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to fix the paths as well in that case, so we can get rid of the scripts folder, the styles folder, and in the html index.html we can just link to main css, and we can also link to the main.js. All right, so we have a source folder inside which we have 3 files, and we have a package.json. Now that we have this, let's have a look. So now that we have this, we're going to install this tailwind css post css. We're going to go ahead into our code. We're going to say, hey, do a pnpm install tailwind css post css. All right, I think it's for Twitch though. I already mod in Discord. All right, yeah, I don't think there was a thing for Twitch, but I can't recall if there was. Yeah, we got to spend more time on this. So now that we have this, we can say npx tailwind css init. This should create a tailwind config.js. I'm going to remove the package log.json, and then from here we can add a new file called post css.rc. So let's go ahead and create that. So this is going to be called post css.rc. I'm gonna save this. So we got post css.rc, and then we have the tailwind config. So inside here we're going to copy the content. So we're going to go into our tailwind config and update the content just like this. So essentially we are saying, hey, anything inside HTML is going to be considered. I should have used Scream of Johnson instead. Yes, yes, remind me of configuring it as soon as I'll get free time. I'll probably do it. But I think what you could also do, I don't know if I think when you become a VIP, you may be able to become a Twitch mod as well. Let me see if I can do it, because I don't think you're there as a mod. So let's see if I can add you. Roles manager, add new. Wait a second. So your Twitch is score. Yeah, I found you. And then, oh yes, you're actually right. There is VIP on Twitch. So quick question, Raja, do you want to be a VIP or a moderator on Twitch? So on index CSS, I can quickly go ahead and add this at the top. There we go. And finally, we can run npx parcel index HTML. So we can add this into here as well. In the package.json, we can add script or start. And here I could say something like this: parcel source index HTML. So if I run npm start, now let's see what happens. You can see that it's running the server at localhost 1234, and the package has been built. Here we have got the dist, which contains the build app, and we also have it running on localhost 1234. So let's copy this, try it out in here. And now you can see it works exactly the same way. Now you would notice that some things have been changed, and that is because we are now using Tailwind CSS for this. All right, so Raja, you said moderator, so now you're going to be a moderator now. All right, congratulations. You are a moderator now. Completed. Okay. And let me quickly adjust this. Yeah. So now that we have Tailwind CSS implemented, we can actually see this working when it comes to writing classes. So make sure that you have the Tailwind CSS extension installed. Tailwind CSS. So this is going to be the IntelliSense that you can install, and it will allow you to run the classes on the HTML really easily. For example, if I go ahead here, I could now add a class, and the class could be something like text and red, and you can see this IntelliSense. So this works in that case, and now you can see that we've got this really nice UI here. Yay! So now I would want to style this like this app. So we're gonna use a bunch of things. First of all, we are going to use this extension that's called Color Picker. I actually really like this extension because I can just go ahead and pick a color from here, just like this, and I can now go ahead and style it. So I'm going to be adding some CSS variables here. So we can say something like root, and here we can say something like light gray, and we got this variable, right? There's also a CSS or there's also an extension that also highlights this. I really like this as well, but I don't recall what the extension is for this color. I think it's called, let's see actually. So there is this extension that I used that is called color highlight. Yes. So it highlights the web colors in our code. I think this does it in both the HTML and the CSS files as well. For example, if I go ahead here and if I say something like style, and I can say color red, you can see that it highlights it here and here as well. It's a really nice extension. I love it. So I can share this here in the chat as well, so you can also use it. All right, so now that we have got this, let's use this. Hey Agu, how are you doing today? So we're going to use this background on our CSS. So when we have HTML body, we're going to go ahead and say something like now that I'm thinking about it, should we add this color into Tailwind instead of the CSS, because we would want to use that? So let's actually add that. So we should have something like configuration, and we have things like theme colors. So I can add actually like this. So I'm going to rather use Tailwind CSS for this. So I'm going to go to tailwindconfig.js, and I'm going to go and say something like colors. I think when I have to extend colors, I'm going to do colors here instead of there. So I can say light gray, and then the color was, oops, and then the color was this one. So I don't need to even create then the CSS colors there. So I'll do it this, and then on body, instead of doing CSS3 colors, I can now go ahead and I can apply this here. So I can say something like body class, and here we can say BG light gray, as you can see. So BG light gray now resolves to the color that we are using. SE Creation 2 million says love you, same to you. So now if I go to my document, you can see that this also has the same color as this design. Should I actually be wait a second, should I actually be opening it into yeah, I think we should probably do this. Yeah, so this is, I think this is much better. So this is how it should look like in general. So we have a header, but then we also have these transactions, and then we have the wallets and whatnot. So this color that we're using here is exactly the same as what we have used. So you can see it's F1, F2, F8. And if I have a look at my computed background color, that's also should be, oh, it's converted into RGB. What? But okay, I think it's exactly the same if I use the extension here. So yeah, but it says F1, F2, F6. That's interesting. Does it change it? Oh, it's actually changing around. That's interesting. Which one is it then? At most of the places it's F2, F8. So we're gonna use F2, F8. Love you, bro, from Seal Down. You're my inspiration. Thank you, Ali Murtaza. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I hope whatever you're doing, you get good at it. So now that we have this, let's actually divide the other colors, which is this side. So F9, FA, FC. So we're gonna call this I don't know what we call this. Maybe we could call this light gray 2. I don't know. Or light it's actually a bit different though. We could call it a lighter gray. Lighter gray. Hehehe. So now that we've got this, Raja, congrats for the moderator icon. Yes, Raja was like, hey, I wasted the 30,000 redeem points. I should have used John Cena. Come on. But yeah. Hello sir, can you speak, can Tau speak in Urdu? जी बिल्कुल, मैं उर्दू बोल सकता हूँ. But the tutorial that I'm working on, जिस tutorial पे काम चल रहा है, it has been in English. So if I change this to Urdu now, then half of my tutorial would be Urdu and half of that would be English, and that's probably not really wise because then the tutorial would be weird. तो इसलिए हम उर्दू में ये वाली वीडियो नहीं कर रहे होंगे. Hopefully next stream would be in Urdu. Alrighty, so now that we've got this, let's actually add this color to the side. So if I talk about this UI that we see here, you can see that everything is that color now. But what I would want rather to do, and here also you can see that it's divided into two different things. So the side that we have here, I think we should take it out of main. So we can take it out of main like this. So there's a main and then there's a side. So if I now refresh my app, you can see that our side is gone because we have it here. So what we are going to do is to apply some more CSS. So in main, you can see that we set display flex with 100%, height 100%. So I'm going to change that to this. And let's see. So we are applying the flex to body in this case. And now if I refresh now, you can see that we have something. And it doesn't look really pretty. So what we are going to do is we're going to style the main as well. So now we're going to go to our main, and here we're going to say class. We're going to say flex 1. And even we can remove this style from body flex, so we can apply the style directly here. So we can say flex, and we got flex 1. And in the main or in the side here, we can assign a width. So we can say width, and we're going to give this a particular width. So I don't know if I can find it maybe or not. Let's see if I can go ahead and see the dimensions. Can I get dimensions? No, I cannot. Well, all right, we cannot get it, so that's fine. So in this case, let's just assume that it's about 300 pixel. So we are going to say width 50 or 45 or 44, which is 176. So we can go, or maybe say something like 64. That's 20. Okay, if we go to 80, that's 320 pixels. So width 80 would be my case, and this would be if we have at least medium screen. So if it's less than medium, then we're going to have a different one. So here you can see that we have got a 50 or sorry, a 320 pixel width here. We could actually increase it. So we could say if it's a large, oh, is it? I think it's MD like this, right? So if I do it like this, yeah, I think this is good. So MD, and for large, we could say 90 width. Is there a width 90? No. 80. So LG width 96. Yeah, we could do that. So now when it's medium, it's going to use this. As you can see, it bounces here, and that is what we wanted. Instead of pixels, you can use percentage. I don't want to use percentage because it's not predictable, and I don't want to be not predictable. I would rather use pixel in this case. All right, now that we have this, let's have a width of 100% or width full, and a height, or actually not width full, but we should have a height full in this case. So we can get the output of it. Let's see what happened. It says something like close, no file or directory. Oh, is it parcel doing something weird there? Could be. Okay, so now let's see. So in this case, we have, if we inspect, now comes the CSS magic, and you would probably be facing the same things while working with front end. So the body is full height, the main is full height, but the section is not full height. So we gotta now have this section be full height. So in the section, we can go ahead and say height full. And once we do so, you can see that now this section is also a height full. This is what we actually wanted. So now I'm gonna bring it like this here, bring this a bit smaller. And now let's talk about the edges. So in here, you can see that at the very corner, these have these rounded edges on both sides. So we want that. So we're gonna go ahead and say the main, or actually I'm gonna be applying this BG to main. Let me think actually. If I apply this to the border itself, border top, wait a second, border T, or it should be rounded. No, wait a second, rounded T, right, it's rounded top left. We say medium, and rounded top right, medium as well. If we do this, then the body itself becomes rounded at some point. But then, so here you can see border top right radius, blah, blah, blah. Now I gotta say just border 1 pixel solid transparent, right? But the problem with this is going to be now that the background behind should be white. So this body would have a background white, but the main would be different. Okay, so I'm thinking I would go it this way. So BG white for this. Then we got a flex rounded, blah blah blah. Then inside main, we're gonna have a BG light gray, something like this. So if I have a look at this here, we got the body, which has a white background. We got the main, which should had this. Wait a second, I'm gonna convert this to this and put it here, rounded TLMD. I hope my server is not destroyed. It destroys the server parcel somehow. That's not really cool. So let's have a look. So in this case, we got a rounded top left, 0.35 rem. If I wanted to do a border there as well, so it's going to be, let's say, border to And now let's say we do a border black. So now you see that on the very top right, it shows us something like this, right? But we want more out of it. So it should not be maybe MD, it could be LG. Imran Ali, Assalamu alaikum. What happened with Modern Coding Competition? Oh, good reminder. I don't really know. We did not discuss it too much. Maybe we should. Maybe we should. But yeah, we haven't discussed it too much. It's 0.5 REM when it comes to top left radius. Hey, Transigner. All right, so suggestions, Imran. How long do you think should be this MERN stack competition? Hey, Ravinder, how are you? So we got this main. Let's see if I can crack this. So we got border, radius. If we do it a 50%, you can see it becomes like this. We don't want that. If I do 16 pixel, it comes close. But if I do something like a 30 pixel, I think this is what we are going for. So we are going to go ahead and here we can say border or rounded LG or TL, and we say something like 30 pixel. And yeah, similarly we are going to go ahead and remove the border here. So we can say border transparent instead of border black. And then we're going to do the same thing. So for main, we have a rounded top left. For a side, we're going to have a rounded top right. So sidebar is going to have a border transparent. And then we got a rounded top right of 30 pixel, right? So now this is very subtle if you ask me, but still it's there. So it has this really small border there, but I think we're gonna go with that. Alrighty, so we got the border transparent rounded TL, and I think I just need to refresh. And this main section, it also has a border in the CSS, so I'm going to remove this. Yeah, it also has this padding 30 pixels, so I'm going to remove actually both of them so we can work with the styles instead. So now I'm going to add a padding to both of them, so we can say something like P6 or P4. So in the transactions word we have a padding like this, and then on the side as well we can say P6. Do for a 1 week deadline, add end of December. Okay, we could do that. Let me see if I can open it. And so we are talking about a 1 week MERN stack competition, and we have end of December. All right, I'm gonna take a look at that after as well, but yes, this sounds good. Thank you for the suggestion. So for the aside one, we're gonna use the BG lighter gray, so we should also be able to see a slight, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a slight curve here towards this side, but it's sort of following it. I don't want to add a lot of padding in the body. I could, but then I would lose the ability of this the 100% view in that case, so I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also add the bottom borders as well, since we have the top ones as well. So we're going to go ahead and say something like, hey, also add a bottom left, and then here I'm also gonna add a bottom right 30 pixels, so we have all of them. Simplarin, hey, how are you doing? The problem with Parcel that I see right now is that if I have saved a file and it's building, if I save it again, it breaks, it just cries. You should think about an app idea and keep it in mind and reveal one day before week and add a deadline for 1 week to submit. Should that be that I give you some app idea, or should that be rather that you come up with your own ideas? If it's just one app that everybody has to build, then I think it makes the competition easier, or reviewing it easier, because everybody would be building the same things. um yeah, let's try to do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so I have something in my mind already. So I'm going to reveal that 1 week before that. Then sure, I'm going to schedule something for today. The challenge is you will give a task. Okay, that makes sense. All right, yeah, we'll do it that way then. Coolio. All right, so now let's talk about the transactions and also the wallet. So maybe let's talk about the wallets first. So we're gonna go ahead and divide these two sections. So we're going to start with the transaction, and I'm still thinking if I should go with parcel or not, because parcel seems a bit weird. Can we use a wheat for a simple project, or can we? Getting started, browser support, vanilla. We do have a vanilla JavaScript. We should be using that, right? Could we add it? Oh, but this is online. I don't want online. So when we do can we add wheat to an existing project? Existing? No existing. I don't want to create a full-fledged project per se, but I could. I don't really want it though. Config. Let's see if I can find it. Add wheat to existing project. Add wheat to your existing web app. Yeah, there you go. So how did you do it? Static asset loading, blah blah blah, styles, blah blah blah, transformation, blah blah blah. Okay. It's gonna be a lot of effort to do this. Shahjahan Sarfaraz. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I'm doing good. How are you? Let me search it. Parcel package manager. So if I wanted to do a get starting, building a library, migration, development, code splitting, can I search existing? Powered by open source. Okay. So yarn add dev parcel, you do save dev, blah blah blah, project setup. Declaring browser target. The only thing that that I don't like right now is that I have to. Okay, as you make changes to parser, rebuilds and change the files and updates your app in the browser. By default, browser fully reloads the page, but in some cases perform hot module replacement. CSS change automatically. Blah, 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 blah. This also. If you're not using framework, you can opt into HMR using module.hot API. This will prevent the page from being reloaded. I think I want this, to be honest. Okay. Proxy. Okay. All right. So this goes in our parcel file, but where do you add this exactly? Module.hot. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. I think it goes in my JavaScript, so let's see. I'm not sure how it adds it, but it seems like it adds it. So if I do this, would it actually reflect in here, or what? Or is it gonna be, is it gonna cry and crash? So it doesn't, so it says module is not defined. I think it's not gonna be there. Let's see. Parcel. So we do a web app, we start with it, parcel index. Does this need a configuration? Declare in browser targets. Next step, check the documentation of development, production, recipes and suggestion. Okay. Parcel automatic support, blah blah blah. Package JSON source, index HTML, blah blah, targets, blah blah. How do I configure this? Different bundling, app.js, multiple targets, blah blah. How do you create it? Targets, library targets, okay. Target main, target options, engines, scope host, public URL. Oh, we have a parcel serve. So that's the problem. We are using this in the wrong manner. So in the app or in the package JSON, instead of doing start, we could use dev, and this could say parcel serve, and we could also then have a build. This could be parcel. If I'm right, let's see if I can double check this. So this is going to be this targets, and it was somewhat around here. Build. Okay, then it's here. So you have a parcel build, so you have parcel and then parcel build. Okay, let's see. So now if I go ahead and do parse or npm run dev, pm command not found. What? Oh, okay, should be npm. What? Yeah, dev. Interesting. So now this has started it. Let's see if I can run this. I can. And what happens if I save a couple of files, like do this. I think this is much better because now I don't see this breaking. All right, cool, we're good. And yeah, we can also do like Google, figure out some cases problem around us and ask to make MERN apps just to resolve, overcome the cases situation. Yeah, I think I have some ideas, Imran. So I think I'm going to be sharing those and we can take it from there. But yes, so key takeaway from here is you use the parcel serve instead of parcel, just parcel, because yeah, you want to serve this rather than creating a dist every time. Alrighty, so now that we have this, let's quickly style the rest of the stuff. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and configure our wallets because we can see our wallets here. Let's actually remove all of this because we don't need that anymore. So we're going to first go ahead and style the transactions, for example. So test transaction, the category is close-in shopping, type credit, and or actually debit, and we have a 1200 in this case. So we hit create and we got this transaction. So now what we are going to do is to style it. In here you can see that this is a really weird border that we see here. So we're gonna style that according to the design here. So this has a bit of shadow and this also has a white background, some radius and whatnot. So we're going to go into our JavaScript file because we have the template of each transaction there. So I'm going to actually do this, sort of zoom out a bit, and each transaction has their HTML. So in this HTML we do have main transaction, transaction item. So we had some styling that we added. So I'm probably gonna remove all of this. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna actually remove these styles. So our transactions would become I believe they should become very weird. By weird I mean they like this. So we go ahead and start styling it. So we're going to go into our JS, and in here we do have this item. So we're going to make it a flex, right? And you can see that it works here. Now that we have this, we can make it if you see here we have this flex, so it flexes it. Then we got this item icon, blah blah blah. So we are going to make sure that our midsection has the most width, and then we have everything towards the other side. So we're going to go ahead and first we're going to add a gap of 4. So we have a gap here between each, as you can see now, those purple gaps between. Now we're going to make sure that the main is having a flex 1. So we can say something like flex 1, save this guy, refresh, and now you can see that everything is towards the end, because right now our main is having a flex 1, so it takes all the available space. I think this looks good. Now we're going to make sure that everything is centered. So we're going to go ahead and here we're going to say also item center, save this guy, refresh, and now you can see every icon and text, everything is at the center. So this is good. And we're going to give this obviously some padding and a background. So we can say p, let's have a look here. So we have about, I think we have about 16 pixels of padding. So we can go and do p6. Is it 16 pixel? No, it's not. P4, that's 16 pixel. So we got a padding of 16 pixels. Then we're gonna add also a background, so bg white, and also rounded lg. So if we do this, now you can see that we got this really nice card. It sort of looks like the one that we want here, right? Now the only thing that's remaining is a shadow. So we can say shadow md. I think it's the md one, or we could say lg. Let's see. So this has a shadow. It's not really visible that much because it's sort of different than what we have here. So this has like more of a high shadow. Oh, that's because, good catch. Oh, now I see it. So it should be shadow md. Let's see. And if I go shadow sm, I think the sm one is that one we are using. Okay, yeah, this looks good. Junaid Munir says link for code. I think this is deployed already. This is already on my GitHub. GitHub CodeWithAhsan. I believe it should be here. Do we have the budget? Yeah, we have the budget app here. So now that we have got this, I can add more transaction. Test 1 2 3 1 2 3, and also I'm gonna add a one to check how much longer it goes there. Also, let's say 25, 8,000, and then we have a gift card, create. So now that we have two of those, you can see that they're very much merged together. We don't want that. We want some gaps in there. So we're gonna add some margin there. So we can say something like a margin bottom could be 4, because I think it's quite the same when it comes to the spaces. Yeah, it's quite the same. So it's 16 pixels almost. Alrighty, so let's talk about the icons themselves. I think the icons could be different colors, but we're gonna see. And it should also have some margin from top as well. So first of all, let's fix the transaction, I think we are using red somewhere. Where is it? Required. I think, yeah, this is the one. So we shouldn't be having this here. We could rather use something like font, bold, and also it could be, yeah, I think it should be font bold. So we have transactions here. One thing that I realized is that we are not using my favorite font, which is Nunito. So I'm gonna add that. Nunito font Google. And this is because we just focus on JavaScript altogether, and I can see that my camera is dead. So we're gonna quickly fix that. Let's see. And one thing that I also realized is that I might have to drop off, and I would then come back later because I have to take care of my kid. So I'm gonna probably drop off in 5 minutes and then come back at 2 p.m, which is gonna be 5 p.m. Pakistan time. But yeah, let's quickly fix that. So we don't have Nunito, I believe. Yeah, we don't have it. So we're gonna add it right here. So this adds a bunch of link tags. First of all, this one is really important. So we are connecting to the fonts.google.api, then the gstatic, because these two are where it fetches the CSS from. And now that we have this, we can go ahead and in the HTML body, we can say the font family is going to be Nunito. And this would take something like this. And now if I go to my app, refresh, you can see that the font is much better. It's rounded, it's crisp. I love it. And from the heading, we also need some margin. So from the transactions heading, we're going to add a margin bottom of I would say 10. So we have some good amount of margin here. Let's see how much it is there. It's like home wallet here, change default wallet, and then January, blah blah blah. I think I could go with a margin bottom 6. So we got this transaction, test transaction, blah blah blah. Now let's make this one bold, and we are going to change the color for this. So we are going to go ahead with a font bold on the template. So here we have the icon, then we have this title. So for the title, we're going to go ahead and we are going to apply CSS styles. Now the fun part about this is that now that I have this, I don't really have to use my BEM styles because I'm not really using them in the CSS. So I can remove my BEM styles that I've used for the naming and just use Tailwind CSS. So I can use something like I can remove this guy, I can remove this guy, and here I could say something like font bold. And then we also have I think that's pretty much it. So we use font bold, we refresh, you can see the test transaction here. Then we have the slightly grayish color here for the second item. So I'm going to use a slightly grayish color for the second item. So I'm going to go ahead here and I can say something like font, or actually text, slate, and then we can use something like a 400, refresh. So you can see we have something like that. It's not exactly like that, so maybe I should be using 500 in this case to make it a bit darker. It's not quite the same, but I think it's good enough. Cool. Now that we have this, let's talk about the amount. So we're going to make it bold, right? And each amount that we have is also a dollar amount. So I'm going to add the dollar here, and then I'm going to remove this amount here and then make it font bold. So now if I refresh this, you can see that we got a dollar minus 1200. That's actually a good point. So should it be, I think it should be like something like this. Yeah, minus dollar blah blah blah. I think this looks much better. And now we're talking about edit and delete. So we're going to rather use the icons there instead of the buttons, or actually inside the buttons we could use the icons. So I'm gonna kind of split this into this, and then here I'm gonna say something like I class I, and here we could say something like fa pencil, and here we can also have I class, and here we could have I fa trash. I think that those are the icon. Yeah, you can see that those are the icons. So now that we have those, let's also add some gap between those. They're very close to each other, and they also have sort of a bigger font. So we are going to use something like font, or we are going to use actually text SM. So one of those could be a bit smaller, as you can see, and then this one also would be a text SM. Refresh, a bit smaller. The outer one would be a flex, items center, gap 4. So you can see that they're a bit far from each other, and now there is a bit of difference between those two, right? So we're gonna go ahead and add that as well. So in here, let's add a margin of left. So we can say ML, and let's say it's 6. So right now you can see they're very close. If I refresh now, you can see they're a bit far now. That's what we wanted, right? Now that we have those, one of the problems is if the text is too much, it's gonna go beyond, and that's not what we really want. So we want to ellipsify this. So let's see if I can quickly search in the Tailwind CSS ellipsis, text overflow ellipsis, right? So we have text ellipsis that we can talk about, and overflow hidden. So for the title that we are using, here is the title. So for title, we can use text ellipsis, overflow hidden. And if I go and refresh here, let's see if I can make it work. Oh, we're gonna have to add more things to this. This doesn't work. So we would have to add word break word, and also white space no wrap. Yeah, as you can see, and we could remove this guy. So white space no wrap. The only problem that now I see is it sort of takes the full width or adds a scroll there, which wasn't required. So here it looks good, as you can see, but if you have a text overflow ellipsis, overflow hidden, what are we missing? Text ellipsis is to truncate. Oh, okay, let's see. So we have we have a truncate. Interesting. So instead of this, we could use truncate. Does that ellipsify it? No. Yes. The problem is it's taking the entire width. So it has the space so far, and that's why it's gonna be taking because this is not responsive. And now I'm thinking about why is it that it's not. Oh, because it's with 100%. Wait a second. Then we got a main. The main is okay-ish. The body has a width. It has a display flex. That's also good. Then we have a min height, margin, padding 0. That's good. And we have an HTML. Do we have anything on the HTML? I don't think so. Then we've got a body main, and the main is flex. Does it also have a width? No. Okay. Oh, wait a second. But this main should be a flex 1, which it is. The height is full. Then we got the section. The height is full as well. The body is flex for some reason. In section we have these headings, these two headings. We don't want flex on the section. Yeah, we don't want, and we also don't want the width and sidebar here. Okay, let's see. So we got to refresh this. In this aside, we got a text here. I think the only reason this is going away is white space no wrap. because if we do no wrap, then we want a maximum width. Otherwise it's going to still take all of the places that it can. The only way it would stop is if it would also have, for example, more than these words like this. And now it would potentially, yeah, I don't know. So it kind of keeps going as much as possible. We don't really want that. Yeah, we don't want that. So the main and body, the main has a padding. I think the width of this is 100% should be, and not more than that. Otherwise it's going to take like a lot of space, as you can see there. Yeah, it should be a max width of 100%. That's going to be for main. So let's actually build it. And width, max width, full. So we have that. Now this, oh, we're gonna probably also have to give this guy a flex one, or not this one. So this is going to be a max width of 100%. But that's a problem, because when we do this, it would still not truncate it. Flow hidden. Let's see if I can add this truncate. Yeah, that's going to be, because we want it to be on the parent and not the child. So that's a problem. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go and apply the truncate on the parent rather than the child. So we go and find truncate that we applied. Was it on the, yeah, on the title? So rather than the title, it's going to be on the flex one truncate. So we refresh. And we also truncate this guy. There we go. So it's gonna limit everything from overflowing, and then we have a truncate here as well, which is applying it to it. All right, looks good. If I add more things to it, as you can see, if there would be more space, it's going to take it. If there wouldn't be any space, then it's not going to take it. So this is like a maximum right now. Oh, and the maximum width. Okay. So this is an interesting thing, because max width here that we gave was full. And now if I have to go like this, yeah, that's going to be the max it would take. Okay, let's go for a mobile view and see what happens. So in a mobile view, it looks something like this, which is really weird. If we go to Nexus 5, it looks like this. If we go now, it seems better. But this guy, this is going crazy. So we're gonna fix that. Now, as I mentioned, I'm gonna have to step out, and I'm going to be back in about 30 minutes. So I'm gonna see you then. Hey everyone, sorry about that. It took a bit of time because it's actually something really nice happening right now. Do you want to see? It's snowing. Let me actually show you. Camolino widgets. Yeah, let me show you. I hope my cable would still be okay, but let's see. Let's see. Let's see if I can show you. Ah. Oh no, it went black. Come out. All right, let's see if I can. Come on. Mhm. Yes, there you go. So this is what's happening right now. Isn't it lovely? Yep. Yep, that's what's happening. All right, let me fix it. Let me fix it back. Ah, yes. It's snowing. It's snowing. Hello. Hello, hello. I could have. No, I don't think I could have done it like this. Yeah, no, it just goes away. What is the temperature here? Last night it was about, or yesterday it was about 2. Let me see what is it right now. Hmm. The reflection. There you go. It's -1. Can I hide my face? Yeah. Yeah. -1 it is. It's cold. Super cold. Super cold. anyways, good. I was thinking about going outside, or actually I have to go in the evening to a friend's, so it is going to be fun. Why do I have these weird messages in chat? Damn. Okay, I'm gonna refresh chat. Alrighty, there we go. Cool. So how about we try to finalize the application? So one of the things that you do when you're working with you have -14 degree, but that's Fahrenheit, man. You have -14 degree Fahrenheit. What the heck? What? Where are you exactly? Hello? Is that a place where you have? I mean, I don't know if that. I was hearing some. I was listening to some podcast, and they said that there are places where you don't even cook meat. It's just that you take out the frozen one and then try just cut it and then eat it. Is that something that you folks do? ये ठंडी जगह गर्म खून वालों के लिए नहीं बनी. गर्म खून वालों के लिए या गर्म दिमाग वालों के लिए? We are both though. Oh, Russia, damn. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. It's probably one of the coldest place. But what temperature do you get in summer? Is it like 2 degrees or -5? All right, so one thing that we were thinking about the budget app was the yeah, that this is growing too much. So let's have a look with a fresh mind. What we have here is a body. The body has a width of 100%. The main doesn't have anything, so it has a flex one. Okay. The height, or actually, I think this could be that we could say max width 60%. So we don't go up overboard. But when we say flex one, we're trying to say, hey, take as much space as you can. Zindagi hi jam jayegi. Yes. Exactly. So in here, oh, because we have multiple. Okay. Anyways. So when we are using a width here, it's 96. But if we are going towards more, it becomes a bit different. Okay. One of the things that we want to do is if we have a wallet, and if it's a small or a small screen, we want this flex to also be flex column instead. So we could say something like flex column, but we have, if we have MD, then we have a flex row. So let's see. Did I crash my server again? Yeah, it seems like it. So we have a yarn dev here. The dogs are having fun outside, as I can see. So yeah, if you are in we have like this, that's why. So if it's MD, we have it like this. Apart from MD, so on mobile it would look something like this. Then we go to medium, and here we go, right? So we could have a flex column even, I think, after SM. I think that makes much more sense. So if I go here on the medium, it's good. If I go down from here, then it's that one. So the only concern that I have is it gets, this should be a break word, break word. But then it also has truncate. So let's see. So if I remove this white space no ref from here, then that should then we have truncate here. It's these times when you question your CSS skills. So I don't want to have a truncate up top. So if I refresh now, I don't have it. If I scroll down, you can see it doesn't work, right? That's because we have to have an overflow hidden up top. So if I say white space no wrap, that's good. But then here, I should have an overflow hidden, as you can see. So white space no wrap, and then the text overflow should be ellipsis here as well. But the text overflow here is as well this one, and the width here should be 100% of what we are taking there. And Truncate adds overflow. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. If we remove this, go ahead and go overflow hidden here, then it doesn't do it because it's taking everything outside the flex 1. If we do an overflow hidden, then that makes it better. Okay. Then the only thing that I'm thinking about right now is we got the word wrap, word break word. So we break the word in this case. I'm thinking if there should be a, because the problem is if I give this a max width in pixels, this would work. But if I don't give this a max width in pixels, then I would have to figure out exactly what stops it. For example, the overflow hidden is the one that stops it at the top. But I don't really want this, what do you call it? I don't really want this to grow if there is already this element there. So now what's happening is that if I go like this one has already a width of 20 rem, which is about 320 pixels. But then this one has a flexed 1, right? But then also the problem is if I do this a width of 50% in this case, then yeah, that would be a problem. But it should be a max. If I do this a max of 50%, then we have a problem because it would not grow after it. And if I do a flex 1, then it goes towards all of it. So if I do this a max width of 100%, then that's also a problem because then we are talking about letting it grow, and we have this issue where we get this scroll bar, and there should not be a scroll bar in this case. So we got to think this through. We got a body, we got a flex direction there, then we got two things there in this one. Yeah, the body, oh, okay, the body is there. Does it have a width 100%? Yes, the minimum height is there. That's good. So the body has a width 100%. That makes sense, and it should be something like this. Hey, we have a body that has a width 100%. Cool. Now we got a main there, and we got a section there. The main section has a height of full. Oh no, not the main section, but a side. The side there has a width of, where is the width? Yeah, so medium width 80 and large width, so there's no width applying there. Ah, that's why. Okay. Okay, so let's go with this then. So we got a medium. Now I think I got it. So a width, MD width, yeah, so let's go with a width of 80 by default and just a larger one at the end. So by default we got a width of 80, 20 rem, and in larger case we have a different situation, so that's still fine. And it should also, because now that I see it, it is taking out the width, but now if I go here, 20 rem, so if I see the computed value of width right now, It's 239.33 pixel. So instead of giving a width 80, which is 320 pixel, we could go ahead and say that it's hard coded 320 pixel, right? So let's say, so we got a 320 pixel width there, and let's see now what does it say. So this is a still 229 pixel. That doesn't make sense. We got a flex in here, we're giving a width of 320 pixel, which is supposed to be hard coded. Yes, but it doesn't apply there. Oh, is this because this is not a display block? Is that why? I'm not really sure. 239.906. That's a bit weird. Why do we not get the width of 320 pixel? It should have given it. If we go with percentages, then that's not really nice, because I can see that the width is being applied here. If I increase this, something happens? No. So you can see nothing happens in this case. Because the main is taking all the space that is possible there, because it has a flex 1, which it should, I don't know if it should have it now. Body, main aside, body's got a flex, direction row. We got a main which has some elements, but if we delete those elements, it's gonna go and be weird in that case. If I refresh this, delete, didn't we implement? Oh, shit, damn, I now remember, actually we removed the classes, but we shouldn't have, because they were not just CSSs, they were also the items or the elements. Now that's going to be a problem. Anyways, let's see. So in main.js, we removed some of the classes like edit and delete. We actually want them. So we got this edit, we got this delete, because otherwise, yeah, there would be a lot of problems. So we got to delete this guy, delete, edit, delete, edit, and we also would have to put the other classes back. So it's gonna be item actions, so div class, then we got well, that sucks. We're gonna have to change it. Let's see. Actually, let's add it from the diff. And we don't have the diff. Damn. Why? No. What? We should have a diff here. How have we pushed the code in that case? Status git init. We didn't push it. That's interesting. All right, in that case, let's see. So if I revert the changes that we had, no, this is how it would have looked. So we got a main, title, everything as such, and let's see. So we got a transaction ID, that's going to be I, and we got fa trash, yeah, and we also had some styles here as well. Okay, so let's actually have a look here. So when we run our JavaScript, do we have the main.js? Yes, it is there. And if I go to main, do we get this triggered? No, we don't. This JavaScript is not even running. And why is that exactly? We got this main.js. When we go to the dist, it contains the main.js. No, .js. So it generates this file index.js, which is this here. And this should be running everything. Okay. So let's do this. I'm gonna stop the server. I'm gonna delete the dist and the parcel. I'm gonna run npm run dev. Let's see what parcel does now. So we got a dist there, we got a JavaScript file there. We're gonna be calling that file, which is good. So now if I refreshed here, I was able to test 123 before, call it 1200, create, and this works. So the delete and the edit is not working, but the JavaScript is there. So index.js. So if I go to here, refresh, does it come here or is it budget app? New require test.js, this here. That's interesting. If I go to my main.js and if I log here, where does this log? Console.log bootstrapping. So main.js, but it doesn't go inside there. Why? Parcel source maps. I don't want all of this, but I do want to know in development. And I do want to also search debugging. Chrome developer tools. Okay. It says it's minimal effort for the most part. I don't see the minimal effort for the most part. If I wanted to look at bootstrapping, it should have come here, but it did not. And that's what's bothering me. So if I refresh now, it doesn't put a breakpoint there. Why does it not put a breakpoint there? Nope, it doesn't. It's super weird. Source. Is it this one then? Because it gets the source root. I have already breakpoints here, but index and budget. Nope. That does not do it. Let's go the other way. Debugger. Now it came here in the main.js. But it's going like all the places. All the places. Completely. So I'm gonna remove it from here and let's see we got an add event listener, handle transaction ln. So here we got this, then transaction dot bind. I want one here as well. I want to now see what happens. So let's play. If I click here now, where is it coming exactly? Init event handlers. What? What are you doing? Damn, no, I don't think so. No, I believe this was a very weird. No, I don't feel comfortable at all. So I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna make a change that everyone is gonna regret now. So we're gonna start with, yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this. Get started. I'm gonna create a project inside here. I'm gonna call it budget app vanilla JavaScript, and then I'm gonna move everything inside there. So we got the budget app. I've got a source here, index CSS, JS, HTML. Move it budget app public. Where's my, okay, we got a main JS here, style CSS outside. So in the budget app, remove it. Is there anything that I need to copy from this? Div script type module main JS. I could use it. So in the index or main JS copy. No, wait a second. In here, this main JS. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna replace this with type module. We have the style file as well. I think we're good. I'm going to copy all of this to the index.html, remove this index.html, copy main.js to main.js. What? Okay, counter.js. Okay, and then we have the CSS. I think I'm going to keep this as the CSS of choice, unless we are using style CSS somewhere. Yeah, let's keep it. So we got main CSS. I'm gonna remove the style CSS. We don't want that. I think we good. So I'm gonna go and change it so we can get rid of the rest of the stuff. Source node modules dist parcel. I'm gonna remove this. Parcel cache is being used, is it? Yeah. Try again. Continue. And then we go ahead and we bring everything out from there to here. Remove the budget app folder. And I'm gonna close this guy. Remove the budget app. rm rf budget. What's deleted? Node modules. p and pm I. I'm gonna remove the dist folder as well. Alright, so we installed a couple of things. Now we're probably gonna have to do the CSS, the Tailwind CSS configuration again, unfortunately. So get started. Let's do it quickly. Framework guideline. We create a project. We do this. But we did we get rid of the, yeah. Yep. So we got this guy. Then we also have to add content here. Clear. And my server is weird now. So npx tailwind css init. we go to tailwind config, we update the content, we extend it with adding two colors. We added a light gray, and we added a lighter gray. So we're gonna use those. Is there anything else that I'm missing? Index CSS should have it, that's fine. npm run dev, and that should be good. So we had our colors right here, so I'm gonna pick those colors really quick. Nope, not the emoji keyboard, and not this as well. Should be color picker. That's the light gray, and then this one is the lighter gray. All right, now that we have this, we run npm run dev. Let's see if this works for us. Yes, it does. However, this looks really weird. So that means our tailwind CSS is either not being applied, or there's something else that we don't really know about yet. Our font is being applied, but our tailwind CSS is not being applied. Or actually it is. No, it is not. So in here, border transparent round, yeah, it doesn't. So in the tailwind config CSS, we have updated the content, or actually we have to update the content here. So the content was index.html and source in anything inside that. So we got the index.html here, which has some of the styles, but then we also have to have the JavaScript file in source. So we're going to create a source folder, and we're going to put the main.js there, or actually we could add main.js here as well. So we can say source blah blah blah, and also we need to have the main.js, which would apply the tailwind classes. So I can say npm run dev now. If I go back to my app now, let's see if this applies. We got the main.js here, which contains all these styles as far as I can see, but I don't see the tailwind classes still, even though we have them. Is that because we missed a step? So npm create read post css auto prefixer p, then we got this added. But it says because of React and Vue, if they're template React and Vue, but if it's vanilla, then I think we should still be able to do it. So we got a tailwind config.cjs. We got our main CSS, which has all the styles and utilities. Oh, but because it's main CSS, it could be it. Let's see if I have style.css anywhere, .css anywhere. So we have a main CSS, which is here, and we also have the main.js that's defined there, right? So if I go to my own main.css, in the sources I should have a main CSS, which is being applied, which applies the tailwind base components, utilities, all of those things. But then we also have the main.js, but main.js wasn't recognized. Let's see, tailwind config. So it's okay. What if we moved everything inside the source folder? So if I moved this here, then I would have to import this from the main CSS or from the main.js. I still don't think it is being applied, to be honest. If I have a look at here, we got Tailwind CSS, we got Post CSS, we got the Tailwind config.cjs as well in here. We got the colors there. I don't get any error when it comes to dev. I'm gonna also try to see if there's a cache. No, there's no cache. Cache. No. That's interesting. Do we have any errors? No. We got fev icon not found. We don't have any errors, and our CSS is not applying now. Let's see if I missed anything. So we got a Tailwind auto prefixer. Oh, we didn't probably install this. That's why. Ah, pnpm. That's why. Maybe that's why. No. What? Okay. So we got Tailwind CSS, auto prefixer, post CSS. All the packages that we require are actually in there. When we run read, we have it. We have all the files here. We have config.cjs as well. Now I'm confused. And I'm really confused. What happens if I go with index.html? So if I go and say, for example, the new transaction heading, if I make this text 5xl, would it change it? No, it doesn't. So it doesn't apply on anything at all. Is that because the Tailwind config.js is weird? I don't know. Could that be? Let's see if I can run this. npm run dev, because previously they would be the Tailwind config.js. Here it was CJS. No, it says CJS, so I'm assuming this is how it's going to be. But if I go to some other packager, let's say, or if I'm using Vue, it's also going to be okay. I don't think I'm missing anything, but I'm still not getting the output that I'm supposed to get. Framework guides, let's see. So if I had to do it into parcel, then I did post CSS, plugins, Tailwind CSS, and then it got it. Right? Now at this moment it doesn't add it to Vite. But the post CSS config.js was not created. Oh, this is what I missed. Damn. Okay. This is what I missed. The post CSS wasn't created, as you can see. So that's what I missed. So I'm gonna actually do this, save, delete, run, and now if I go my app, yay! So it works. It works, and let's revert this guy. Then I think I didn't even need to change those things. Test 1200, debit this, and hit create. Now we got a transaction test. If I add something like this, created, it becomes like this, so we're good. Now this looks good. I don't know why it wasn't reflecting the same thing I was doing in parcel, for that matter. Maybe it was due to a bundler issue. I have no clue, but we'll see. सर ये लाइव प्राइवेट में करना बाद में देखूंगा. हेलो ब्रो, मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप HRMS प्रोजेक्ट बना सकते हैं इन मर्न स्टैक. व्हाट इज एन HRMS प्रोजेक्ट अबूजर? What is it? Sir, ये live private मत करना, मैं बाद में देखूंगा. Okay, got it, no problem. All right, so for this one, as you see, when we are on the large screen, it looks like this. When we are on the smaller screen, we have this transaction, but it goes down, but it doesn't take the full width. So we are going to make sure that it does take the full width. So for this case, when we are in, let's suppose in here on the top, you can see we got SM flex row, but then we have flex column apart from it. So when it's flex column before SM, we would want to give this a full width, the aside. So here you can see that we are giving this a width of 320 pixel, but when it is not, we're going to make sure that this is after small, otherwise we have a width full. So it now should look good. So in here now you can see that this takes the full width when it is small, and then if I go like this, then it's a bit different. Human resource management system. We could do it with Next.js maybe. Would that work? All right, so now that we have this, let's also talk about the truncation part of it. So we were talking about having a or actually some gaps. So we're going to go to our index.html, and we're going to make sure that our title isn't more than 300, or let's say 100 characters. So we could go ahead and add that to our input when we're creating a new transaction. So form, I think the form is in index here. Yeah. So the title should be a max length of 100 character. So we are not going more than that. So if I go, or actually I think this even 100 is a bit more, maybe 30 characters. So if I refresh, if I try to add something that is a bit too much, it cannot allow me that, which is I think what we would want. Sir, you motivated me a lot, Sayed Samullah. Thank you, Sami. I think you can give, if you really feel motivated, do share the video, and also just add on social media. Tag me on LinkedIn, tag me on Twitter, tag me on Facebook. And I can see that my camera died, so let me bring back my camera. And it's snowing out there. So if we press the delete button, nothing happens as of now. If I go to my main.js, nothing happens because we are missing something. So we're going to fix that. Let me zoom in. So if I go to handle action, is it called handle transaction action? Yeah. So if I come here, click here, it comes here, then it goes forward, it takes the event and the target is FA trash. So it tries to go and see the IDs of transaction, and closest ID transaction is actually this guy. Then it replaces the transaction ID, gets the transaction ID, then it says, hey, does the class list contain item action delete? Does it contain it? Well, it doesn't. Else if it contains the edit, then we say edit button, but it doesn't contain anything. That's interesting. So the target that we have is actually okay, is it, it's because we are using the it's because we are using an icon now instead of just a button. So we are able to click an icon and get it inside a button, which is not nice. So in the main.js, then we are going to have to get it out. So if I go to, let's say, if I go to FA trash, then what we would want to do is to be able to find a closest button. So in our handle button, transaction action, where I have this debugger, I'm going to remove the debugger. In here, we're going to find the closest button. So we are going to say if target dot node name equals button, then we are good. Otherwise, we find the actual target, const actual target, or we can say let target button. If that's button, then we say target button equals target. Else, we find target button equals target dot closest button. So if it's the button that we have clicked, we assign it to the target button variable. But if it's an icon that we have clicked, then it would find the closest button and assign to it. And then we can use the target button itself to do the magic. So instead of target, we can say target button. And I think that should be it. Now let's try this out. So now I'm gonna remove the debugger from here. And if I go back, so now if I click this delete, you can see that it deletes because it works now. And how does it work now? If I click main.js, if I say target button, this is what happens. So if I click this delete button, it comes here, it says, hey, what is the target? And as you can see, the highlighted part there is a target icon. So it's an I element with FAFA trash. So instead of finding it, and the node name here is I, it's not button. And actually, when we click a button, it wouldn't still say it's a button because it is capitalized. So we should rather do a lowercase in that case. Anyways, so it's gonna try to find the closest button of this target. When it tries to find it, it finds the button now. As you can see, button with the main class, blah, blah, blah. And then it contains it, and yeah, it goes ahead and does the delete transaction in this case. And it looks good. So if I say again test 1 2 3 1 2 3 created, and now if I hit edit, now this should work with the edit one. So it finds the target button, and then it's trying to go to edit transaction and fills up this whole thing. And I can now change the title to 1 2 3 4 4 4 4 4, and if I hit update, you can see that it works. If I try to edit this again, go in here and hit cancel, it resets everything. Wow, the snow is looking amazing. I want to show you this snow. Can I do it? Can I do it? This is gone, and if I try to go with this, give me 1 second, folks. So yeah, this is gonna be, I'm kind of taking out my cam link so I can get a more wider cable. Give me 1 second. Oh yes, the cable is stuck. Give me 1 second. Stay with me, stay with me. And we got the camera out. There we go. And now I can actually show you. All right, let's see. There you go. You see it? Now all the jackets, that's how it looks there. Whew. Wow. I'm just going to record a small video. Awesome. There we go. Let's see if I can put my camera back in one. Yeah. There you go. Awesome. So yeah. Yeah. सर मैं मन स्टैक लर्न कर रहा हूँ और मैंने आपका वीडियोस देखा जिससे मुझे जल्दी लर्निंग हो रही है, तो दैट्स व्हाई मैं आप प्रोजेक्ट आपसे लर्न करना चाहता हूँ. ओके, साउंड्स गुड टू मी. व्हाट्स दैट? व्हाई डू आई हैव थिंग्स ऑन माय jacket? All right, cool. Let's continue with this so we can finish early. So now we're going to go to our main.js and we are going to go ahead and just style a bit our transaction action. So this is going to be a flex, item center, gap 4. So we can see some gaps here, as you can see. We're also going to have a margin left of 6. So there's a margin left here. Okay. There you go. I think this looks good so far. Now that we have this, let's talk about more transactions. So test, we're going to add a huge number here. We're going to say 1200, but from Apple Pay. And in here, we're going to create a debit to gift cards and hit create. And you can see that we got this really nice UI that's working for us. Super cool. I like it. I love it. Now we're gonna go ahead and implement these icons and actually the form afterwards. So how do we define the icons here? You can see that they're of different colors. So what I would want to do is I would want to take out the blue color for this. So for the icon, when we have this this sort of rectangular outline for each icon, so let's add that. So in here we have this main section icon. We're going to say padding 4, which is 16 pixel. Then we have rounded LG. So it would look something like this. And now I would say PG blue. Is it PG sky blue? Yeah, we do have a sky blue. 300. So it looks something like this. It's not like the one that we wanted, but it's okay. So maybe we could do a 2 here, and then we have a width and height. So width, I would keep the width small, so not too much. 4, it's 16 pixel, yeah. And height 4, something like this. As you can see, I think this looks good, right? And then we can have something like a flex and item center, justify center. So it looks something like this. I think this is starting to look good. Now the only thing that I would do is to color this in a better way. So I'm going to say something like, actually, why don't we use the blue color instead of sky? So we save this. And maybe use a even lighter tone of it. How about 100, right? I like this one more. And now you could go ahead and say something like text blue, but a darker color, maybe a 700. And now you can see it starts to look like that. Maybe a 600, maybe not as dark, or maybe a sky. Yeah, I think this one looks really good. Sir, I made a really simple website with HTML CSS. My own design did not follow in tutorial. Will you see my work and gift tips? I'm so much inspired by you. I want to become a good programmer. Say Samula. Samula, sure, send it. Share the link in the chat. All right, now we're gonna go and style the edit ones. So we're gonna go and do the same thing. Now the thing is, I don't want to repeat my styles, so I'm going to copy some of those. For example, this is a div and an eye, and this is sort of an icon, but the other ones are a button. So I'm gonna actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy these styles from here to here, and I'm going to add a class to it in the main CSS. So I'm going to call this something like a small icon, or I would say rounded icon. So I'm going to say rounded icon, and here I can say apply and all of these styles here. I'm going to remove the BG blue and text sky from here because this is something that I would want to be different across different things. But for this rounded icon, I think I can go ahead now in my main.js, and instead of all of this, I can say simply rounded icon and then text sky and BG blue. And if I see the output, it's still going to be exactly the same. Now what I can do is I can use the same rounded icon class and these two colors on different items. For example, for edit, I can use this. For delete, I can use this. And if I go back to my browser, you can see that they look quite the same. But what I would want in here is I would want to use the slate 100 and a slate 600 for the edit, and a red 600 and a red 100 for the delete. You can see how cool this looks, right? But I want to make these font sizes a bit smaller, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna go to main CSS, and now you can see that I don't have to copy paste things here and there. So I can say text XS, and if I go here, now you can see that the icons are pretty much smaller. So I think I like it. I think one of the things I would want to do is also to be able to click these ones. So I would say rounded icon, but if there is a rounded icon that is clickable, then I could also use something different. Now I don't think I can use, if this was SCSS, I could have applied this, but if there is a rounded icon that's also a rounded icon clickable, then I would also add a couple of things. I would say on hover of this, you change the background, or if I wanted to make it simple, I would say opacity would have been something like a 80%, and also cursor is going to be pointer. So all I need to do is to add this rounded icon clickable class to my index here. So I'm not repeating it, so I can add it rounded icon clickable here, save this, go back, and now you can see that, I don't know if you can see, but it turns a bit different. I'm thinking, to be honest. I mean, if I change this opacity to something like a 50%, that would make it seem different. For example, here you can see now it does it. And I would also want to have sort of a transition. So you could say something like duration 300 millisecond transition all, and if I do it like this, you can see there's a slight smoothness to it, right? You see, it's not like that. It changes it. And if I remove the transition all, then it's going to be snappy. So if I go like this, oh, is it the duration that's actually making it happen? Oh, because they changed it. Yes, if I use duration, I don't have to use transition anymore. They change it. Now you can see it's fast or it's snappy. There's no transition, but if I use duration 300, now you can see that there's a slight fading transition. All right, so I think this looks good so far. Now what I want to do is to style the sides here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same styles that were here to the other one. So I'm going to copy this. Then in the index here, I'm going to go to the heading. I'm going to apply the same styles, font bold MB6 to this guy here. Save this, and now you can see this is called a new transaction. Now we're going to style the inputs, but for the ease of access, I'm going to go to Tailwind CSS and just the home page, and I'm going to copy the styles from the inputs. So let's see if I can find a good input here. I think there was, yeah, this one. So I'm gonna get actually this one, and this is this input. So I'm gonna actually copy this input here, and where is it? It's a category element. No, that's the input. So in here we got a bunch of classes, focus ring 2, focus blue, blah blah blah. So I'm going to go ahead and actually copy all of it like this, and I'm going to go to my CSS and I'm going to say every input is going to be styled the same way. So we apply this to all inputs that we have. And if I see my document now, there you go. You can see that we've got this really nice input element here. But the problem here is that it has a padding from left, because the original where we copied it from has this icon. So they needed a padding. We don't need the padding. So we're going to remove the padding from left, which is PL10. So I'm going to remove it. And I'm rather going to make it PX2 as well, which means I can just use P2. So I'm going to go here, refresh, and now you can see it's a really, both of them have really nice UI, right? So we got a title, and now let's talk about these inputs. So if we had to make it really simple, then we would have the category or the select box as well. If I had to make the same situation for the select box, what would happen? You can see that it looks exactly the same, right? The one thing that I would do is I would also make a bit of margin between those. So I'm going to go to my index.html, and here I'm going to go and say the sidebar form is going to be a flex and flex call, so I can have a gap in between, and the gap is going to be 16 pixels. Now you can see that I have a gap among all of those. So title has a gap with category, then we have a gap here. So rather, if I show you the mouse over, so here you can see all of the gaps between those things. So title is one element, then the category is one, then the type is one, and then yeah, we have the rest of them as well. So this is supposed to be the amount. So instead of saying 0 here, we can say amount, right? Something like this. Title, amount, which is number. We got a debit here, and then we got a button. So we're going to create the button here. I would like to use the same sort of UI for my button, but let's see. So I want to see how the buttons were here. So there were no creation buttons here as far as I remember, but they're just icons some places. Is there a button? Not really. So let's consider this one as the button. So if I had to go and say, hey, this is a button that is called the submit button or create. So we got an entry and a create button. So this div should contain a class of flex gap 4, because they both could be seen at the same time. So if, for example, I'm editing a transaction, I'm going to see both of them like this, and I want to have a flex and a gap between those two. I also want them to be towards the end. How do you do it? End of the row. Right now you can see that both of the button are already start of the row and not the end. So we go ahead and we do something like justify end, save this, and now you can see that the button is at the end. If I edit something, you can see both of the buttons are here. So we're going to style these buttons. We're going to name them. Let's say we can call it, we can add a class called create, create, or actually we could say something transaction form actions. When we do this, we can go to our CSS and add some styles. So we can say transaction form actions, apply. We are going to apply the same thing as the icons, but we're going to make some changes. So the width and height, we're not going to give this. Instead of width 4 and height 4, we're going to leave it as it is. The text, we're not going to give this a text, and I think that should be good. But we are applying to transaction form actions button. So if I go here, you can see that now they look like this huge buttons, as you can see. So instead of transaction P4, I'm gonna do P2, so they don't look as huge. Now it's much better. They are rounded. Now I want to apply the colors to these buttons. So what do we do? In this case, we're gonna have a create and a cancel. I think our main color here, we could assume that it's this blue. So we use the blue color, because we are also using the blue color here in the focus as well. So we're gonna go ahead into our main.js, copy the blue color from here, which was text sky 600, and I think there was also another one, the bg blue 10 or bg blue 100. So in here, actually in the button, we can go ahead and say, hey, we have a class, and the class has text sky, or actually this should be text slate 600, and then pg slate 100, and then this one, the entry submit, is going to be a class of text sky 600 and bg blue 100. So now you can see that we've got this create and we've got this cancel button, right? And we would also want to have the same thing with them, which is on hover, they should be on hover they should have opacity 50 and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna actually copy this, I'm gonna go ahead and paste it here, and this is also going to be on the same button but on hover. So if I hover over them now, you can see that they also fade away, so they look really good. If I cancel, I go out of it. Otherwise I can create it. Now one thing that I am a bit concerned about is that for some reason this hidden actually is not working. Why is it not working? Oh, because the button is also display flag, so it's not display none or not. Ooh, okay. So one thing that we want to do is, so see here, if it's hidden, its display is actually set to none, but with our styles we are assigning the display to flex, and that's gonna break it, so it shouldn't be shown here. So when we are assigning these styles, we can make sure that this is not hidden. So we can say not, and here we can say hidden, which means if it doesn't have a property or an attribute called hidden, which it does right now, if you have a look at here, it says hidden, right? So if it doesn't have hidden, then you apply all these styles. So if I refresh now, you can see we don't see it because this is hidden and this is not hidden. So anyone that is not hidden is going to get those styles. But if I edit this now you can see that both of them can be shown and they work very well. So now that we've got the new transaction, if I do it like this, you can see it's pretty much usable on a mobile as well. I like it. All right, so now if I wanted to give this a number, for example, let's say if I add something like this, so it only allows us 30 characters. We go to gift cards, debit, credit, we say something like this, created, we get the value out of it, and you can see that all of them would be coming to stack a lot. And we have the active wallets as well. Now let's style the wallets. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing as we did with the transactions heading to the wallets heading. So if I go see the transactions, this is where is it? So where can I share link? You can share in the chat, or you can share in the Discord. So there should be a channel on Discord called Stream Room, if I remember it correctly. Yeah, Stream Room. So you can add it here, and just let me know in the chat once you have done that. So we got debit, credit, blah blah blah, and now we have this wallets heading, but we also had a new transaction or edit transaction heading here, and we are using font bold MB6. So we're going to use the same thing here, font bold MB6. We check it, you can see the same transaction heading, the same wallet headings, and now we can style those as well. In the actual account, or in the actual design that we tried to take an inspiration from, we have this like this. So we have an icon, we have then blah blah blah, and a title and a value here, and we have a plus icon that could add those things, but for now I think we're gonna just keep it as it is. So we're gonna say, hey, how about you have just this thing where you could go ahead and show the title and the value like a good person. So one thing I think in terms of consistency also, I think we would style them like this. I believe so. Because here, or maybe not. That's interesting. So maybe not. Okay. But then how do you know which wallet is selected? We're probably gonna highlight it as white in that case. So if I go to my main CSS, I can go ahead, or actually in main.js, I can go to the function where we have the wallet. So wallet has a get HTML, and here we have all these styles. So this is an li element or a list item. And in here, I'm gonna add a couple of classes. So we are going to say p4, which is 16 pixel padding from every side. Then we have a flex and flex call. We have a gap of 4, or actually gap of 2, and that's it. So once we do so, you're gonna see that it becomes much better. We have a padding, we have a flex, and you can see the purple line, that's the gap that we wanted. It should also have, I think it shouldn't have this a gap between those two, like a further gap. What is there right now, it's good. So I don't want to go much into that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same classes that we have here, which is I believe font bold and something for the title. So I'm going to use this font bold for the title, as you can see here. And for the second one, I'm going to use whatever we have here. So it's quite similar. So we got in here, we got the class text slate 500. There you go. It looks really good. And now the highlighted one, we're going to change that. So the active, I'm going to change this active to something like a BG white. And this item that we have, it should also be rounded LG. So now you can see that if you notice, this one is white. I don't know if it should be white. What if I do blue 100? Right? This looks good, right? And instead of doing it here, I think I can use it on the active class, which was being applied already. Oh, what did I add? Rounded LG. Okay, yeah. So this active class, I'm going to use that rounded LG. And we have the active class being applied here, which has this background and border color. So I'm going to just use apply BG blue 100 here. So now if I refresh and switch, you can see that we can see which is the active wallet. We have this really nice UI where we have the transactions, as you can see, they look really good. You could add something like if I'm mouse overing it, you can change the shadow. For example, if I had to go for a transaction, I would have to go to main.js, I would have to go to the transaction class, and inside here we have the transaction item template. In here we have this whole UI where we could add a class, and here we could say by default it's shadow SM, but if I hover, then it should be shadow LG, right? So you can see now it adds that shadow, right? If you wanted to make it nicer, you would say duration to 300. And now you can see that there is a slight delay to it. If you don't see it, add it to 900 and see how that works out. Right? Or am I missing something? Transition, all. Yeah, I think it's working. So can I add it to, I don't know. How much duration can I add? Is it 1000? Yeah, now you can see that it's super slow. So 900 doesn't exist, I think. That's why it wasn't working. Duration. Yeah, 700 and then 1000. I don't know why there's no 900. But okay. So if I use 1000, it becomes super slow, as you can see. But if I change it to 300, that's actually a bit nicer. Yeah, I like it. And now then you can obviously go ahead and click those things. I think we are good. If we had to add, let's say, some features to it, what we would do is we would rather go and for example, have different icons for different categories. That could be one of the things. When you're editing it, I think for the edit you don't need to do anything, but you could add the possibility to add wallets. That could be one of the things. You could also add the possibility to add categories. Right now we only have 4 categories that we use. I think this is good when it comes to, I think I said it too early, when it comes to mobile responsiveness. But I see that if you have a really huge text, it goes beyond. I think we can just fix it and then be done with it. So if I had to do this, and this is because we have a lot of, we have a huge title or amount here. I think it would make sense if we could change the text size for the transactions when it comes to small screen. I'm thinking if I do a text access and then a SM text space, then it looks something like this. Then on mobile phone it would decrease the text size, so it wouldn't go outside. If I had to use iPhone SE, it would still look like this, which is a shame, to be honest. I think the text improvement is necessary, so we should be doing that. And when it comes to the larger screens, it would be bigger. For example, here, if I make it too small, that's a different thing. And if I wanted to go here, yeah, the text increases. In this case, as you can see. But this is a problem. How do we handle this? The text on both of these should be, if I wanted to do a text overflow, it's going to be ellipsis, overflow hidden. I don't think I need white space no wrap because it's always going to be one single character. But then I also want to do one more thing, that you are able to see it somehow, because you cannot see this amount, right? That is a bit of a concern. So maybe on mobile we could show something else or show it in a different way. How about we take the item down when it comes to mobile? So if I go to main.js, we have this amount that you see here, right? So I think we could make this so we're gonna have to restructure this a bit. So first of all, the amount has to come out because we cannot make it without the restructuring. So we're gonna have to first bring it in. That's the problem. And you can see now it goes downwards, which is okay. For larger screens, then we have then it looks weird. But for smaller screens, this looks okay, right? Now I'm also gonna be able to do it like this. So empty, the margin top here should be 4, so we have some sort of gap in here. 4 is too much. We're gonna have 2 here. This is for the mobile size. Now if I go to a tablet or desktop, then we change things. So how do we do this? We're gonna have to wrap this into a div as well. So we're gonna have a div here, and in here we're gonna have the title. Instead of div, we can use something like nh4, right? And now what I want to do is I would have to have a flex on this div, flex and flex column by default. But when it comes to SM, it's going to be a flex row. So it looks something like this. If I'm on a mobile screen, it is a flex. If I come to a desktop, then you can see that it becomes a flex row, but that's not accurate. I shouldn't have this here, but I should have rather this on here. Let's see. So now this is the desktop, this is the mobile, and this should be not, it should be rather access. No, something is not right. Let's see. Where do we have the body? The body is up top. The body has SM flex row. Okay, so we are using SM in this case. So I'm gonna change this. Yeah, we have this SM flex row. That's good. So, oh, and we have two classes. What? That's why. Right, there you go. So here you can see that we have on mobile, it looks like this. Now if I go to desktop, it looks like this, right? But the problem now is this is inside here. So we got to make sure that we have something that is in place. So it adds this gap like this. So how do we do that? We're going to say that this flex row would have a justify between. And yeah, then you can see that it goes all the way. Because what we did is we said, hey, make it a flex, but then have a space in between both of them. So it looks something like this in this case. So now if I kind of do another analysis, this is how it looks. We got a text, we got this, and we got this. But if I had to go like a mobile, something like this, right, then it would become something like this. Do you think the gap here is too much? But then also this takes a margin top. I don't want this to take a margin top. It should have an item center, and the margin top would not be there. So when it's SM, no margin top, right? So in this case, no margin top, and in mobile, we good. Oh no, we didn't want that. Oh, it was flex column. Okay, so item center, it should be something like SM item center. Yeah, so if we are starting on a mobile, it looks like this. If I go forward to tablet or desktop, it looks like this. I think I'm happy about this one, so I think we are good. What do you think? I've shared the link on your Discord. Okay, please ignore the name of my ID and PFP. Why do you have this into a image? Don't you have this deployed anywhere? I would rather suggest to deploy this and not sharing the folder, because then I would have to download it, run it with a server and whatnot. Try to deploy this on GitHub or some place. Alrighty. Now that we have this, the last thing that I want to do is just to take out the files, because now that we have used this, now that we have used our project with Vite or Vite, we have the possibility to distribute everything into their own files rather than going through one file that has everything, right? So how about we create some files? We're going to create some files. We're going to create a file for budget app.js. We would also have budget app UI.js. Then we're going to have a transaction.js. Then we have a wallet.js, and then we have storage.js. What else do we have? We have utilities. So we got a utils.js. All right, so first of all, we're gonna take out the utils. So we have like create HTML, blah blah blah. So we're gonna take out these from here. We're gonna import them from utils. So we go to utils.js and we export all of those. So we say export const export and export function const export. So we can import them now. We can go ahead into our main.js and import the, what was it, transaction item template, then it was also wallet item template, and create element from HTML. I don't think we need this one, to be honest, but we are going to see. Maybe we don't even need to import them in main at the moment. We're going to see still. So we have, or actually let's remove this from here. Okay, let's move the budget app UI and the main function. Let's go it like this. So we have a main function which just imports budget app UI, nothing else, right? So this budget app UI should go into its own file. Where is it? Budget app UI. So class budget app UI.js. So we do this, and then we can just export it from here. So we can say, if I go to the top, control home, export class budget app UI. So in the main.js, we can now import this up top. Import budget app UI from budget app UI, and now we can use it. Right, now in the budget app UI, we would need to use budget app. And if I go to budget app UI, I would need to import the budget app. Import budget app, and the budget app should be here. So we do control home, export class budget app. We go here, we say import budget app from budget app. Is there anything else that I'm needing? So we need a budget app here. Do we need a wallet in there? I'm not really sure. Create transaction. We're gonna find out. We're going to find out. If we miss something, we're gonna find out. So we got the budget app UI there. We got the budget app there. Set is primary. Wallets. Oh, we do need the wallet storage as well. So we go to main.js. We're gonna remove all the storage from here. We're gonna move them to storage.js. We're gonna export class app storage. Or actually, we don't even need to do export this one, because only places which use this is transaction storage and wallet storage. So we can export these two. Now the budget app UI does work with storage, right? Let's see, transaction storage, app wallet storage, transaction storage. No, they don't work directly with it. The budget app uses those, transaction storage and wallet storage. So I'm gonna go and say const, or actually import transaction storage from storage and wallet storage as well, right? So we save this. Now what do we need? We have a transaction and we have a wallet class. So we're gonna remove this, go and paste it here. What does this need? This needs the transaction item template function. So const, or when we talk about this template, I think this could actually live in here. So transaction item template could live in the transaction.js rather than this. So export class transaction in this case. Then we also had the wallet, and I think it's going to be the same with that. So we do wallet, we export the wallet class, and we remove it from the utils. We go to wallet.js and we don't export it. I think the only thing that is remaining is the utils, but we'll see. We got transaction.js, that's good. We got utils, that's also good. The budget app itself, does it create a new transaction? It creates a new wallet, as you can see here. Could not find wallet, so let's import it. Import wallet. From wallet, are there more things that are a problem here? No. I do want to check one thing. So there was this wallet issue, but I can't see it here. Anyways, we're gonna see if there are more things like this. So wallet is there, set primary is there, good. Then the budget app UI, do we have anything here that requires anything else? Let's see. Create element from HTML. Right, we don't have this here, so we import this. Import create element from HTML from utils. Now this is where I'm scared, because here you can see that there is no new transaction, so we need to import it. It doesn't recognize it. Import transaction. What do we else apart from this? Transaction form mode, where is it this being used? It's being used in budget app UI. So we're gonna go ahead and create it there. So let's add it here. All right, I am pretty sure that our application is gonna start crying so hard it's not gonna work. There's no way that it could work right now. I don't think so, but let's see. But if I refresh this, damn, does it work? Really? Are we sure? Can I do cache and hard reload? Okay. All right. I can see all of the files, which is good. So main.js, it goes ahead and creates everything. So it goes there, goes to the budget app UI, runs init. Everything seems to be working. How about we test something? So we say, hey, add new transaction, because it's weird if it works. I'm gonna be so skeptical. 1500. So we do this. The transaction is created. If I wanted to edit this new transaction and make it 1400, it works. We got it here as well. If I wanted to make it not 500 but let's say 2000, then I would still have 3000 in my Apple Pay. There you go. I think this works, or I can see this works. Then I can delete this guy, and that deletes it. If I click this, click edit, that also works. If I wanted to switch to Google Pay and then let's say delete this, that also works. So our app is working. Yay! That is cool. So I think we're good. I don't think there's anything else that I would want to do at the moment. In the next videos, we may go ahead and try to, I don't know, we may go ahead and try to add some tests around it, or write some Cypress tests to make sure that our code is working instead of just testing it manually every time. So let me know in the chat, what do you feel about today's video, and then I'm gonna see you next time. But before that, let's quickly go and commit this so I don't lose this. We should not have a main copy.js. We don't want that. We do have main CSS, that's fine. I think the CSS is decent, and the files are okay as well. And I love that we have a lot of files in here which are okay. to be honest. It's not too bad. It looks good. It does what we want to do so far. And it uses OOP for everything. How about that? Cool. So I'm gonna just do it like this. Also npm deploy gh pages. So we have a package called gh pages. We are going to install it to deploy to our gh pages. So let's add that as well. So we're gonna do pnpm install gh pages save dev. We're gonna have to tell it how to deploy. So how do we do it? We simply say shouldn't there be an option called CL from CLI? Yeah, it's GS pages before add cleanup.js. Custom call it right before get add. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so this is what we want to do, command line utility. So scripts deploy GH pages ddist. So we're gonna go ahead and we are going to simply, but do we also need to base the base path? I think we're good. So we create this all right, so we go to package.json, we do something like this, deploy gh pages dist. So we run npm run build. It should run the wheat build. So inside dist we got the index.html, assets, blah blah blah, and then it's just dist. Yeah, it's just dist. So we can also do something like pre-deploy, and I think we should be good. So we should run npm run build in this case. So it runs and then it deploys, which is what we want. So npm run deploy. So it would first build the application just like this, and now it is supposed to send it. Fail to get remote origin URL. Yeah, because we don't have it. So github.com CodeWithAhsan. Let's find a repository for this. So we have a budget app, but is it the one that we started? Why does it say this is December? Did we also create another budget app? I don't know, to be honest. Let's actually create a new one. So we would say js oop budget app, public, no readme, no license at the moment. It's going to be inside CodeWithAhsan. No, it should have been public. Make it public, make it public, make it public. Change zone, change visibility, change to public. Yes. Okay, now I have to add my authentication code, authenticator, GitHub 880657. All right, I think we're good. So in here, I can now go to code, add this. We can say something like git add git commit budget app MVP status git branch main, and then we do git push u origin main. So it sends it, and now we can run the deploy again. So I think this should first get our normal code. Yeah, there you go. And now this should also push this to GH pages. It says publish. Yay, awesome. So now I should have a GH page as well. SH3G5, welcome to CodeWithAhsan. Welcome. We're about to just go ahead and see our page deployed. pages building and dynamic. Okay, yeah, so the gh pages actually triggers this action, and once this is done we're going to be good. So let's see. So we are going to go ahead and take the URL. I believe it publishes it or shows it at the end. Yeah, complete job, post checkout, upload artifact. No, it doesn't. Okay, then I think I can just go ahead and say CodeWithAhsan.github.io, and then we got JSO budget app. Oh, would you look at that? This looks this looks super weird, and that is because we are using the assets from, we don't have a base href. So read base URL, build for production, base public path. You provide it where exactly? Wait, build base public path, and that is what we wanted. So in the pre-deploy we're gonna rather run wait build and then base, and then it would be the budget app URL blah blah blah. What we have? JS oop budget app. So JS oop budget app, and this should rather deploy it correctly. So npm run deploy. Let's see. And we are also going to confirm if it actually works. So in the index HTML we should have a base ref, or we would have these the scripts and the styles having that. Yeah, so here you can see JS oop budget app. So now this should work. So if I go back to my app and refresh, not deployed yet. Let's see. It says publish, but it's going to take some time. So we got a 38 seconds ago the index HTML, which has the changed variables. Let's see, because this one is still pointing to the old URLs. If you can see in the head, the link said assets index CSS or assets index blah 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 script. Now it is deployed. There you go. So now we have transactions, we've got some wallets that we could work with. We also can now create transactions. So test 1 2 3 clothes debit 1500 and create, and there you go. We got the transaction, and we can also see this being persisted in our application. Budget app. Yay, awesome. It stores everything that I have in CodeWithAhsan.github.io. Okay, yeah, because of the same domain. Yes. All right, or basically same subdomain. So I'm going to copy this link, I'm going to paste it here in the about, save, no, here, a JavaScript budget app based on oop concepts. Alrighty, then I'm going to save this, go to code, go to main branch. I think we're good. So this is the link to the code if anyone wants to have a look at that. And I'm gonna add just this fix git. Oops, my terminal is dead. Git add or git status. We have one file that's modified. Git add, commit, fix deploy, or fix ci, fix deploy script, push. I think we're good. Cool, awesome. So I think that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to see who is live, and then we're gonna rate someone. So we got Honest 10 Games, Tutor Exilius. I wonder what Tutor Exilius is up to. it's Python and it's not English. Let's see. Or actually, I opened that already. So links van frietjes. All right, I think we can go with honest 10 games in this case. Tutor. Let's go to channel. And let's go to raid. Shout out to channel. That's interesting. Shout out username command to send viewers prompt to follow. Okay. Then I can do shout out. Interesting. Cool. And then we can do raid. And let's go and raid them now. So everybody, I'm gonna see you next time. Take care of yourself and your families, and yeah, have some rest. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.